Have you ever had one of those days where you barely moved? Maybe you were curled up in your favorite chair, reading a good book, or flipping through the TV channels, one program rolling into the next. Hours pass, and by the time evening comes, you notice your legs feel heavy, maybe a little stiff, maybe even a bit sore. You shrug it off. After all, you didn't twist anything, you didn't bump into anything, so it must just be old age, right? But what if I told you? That simple, everyday habit, sitting still for long stretches, could quietly be setting the stage for something deadly, long before you ever feel real pain? And here's the scariest part, most people never see it coming. Because the danger doesn't always announce itself with flashing lights and sirens. Sometimes, it starts in silence. A tiny clot forms in a vein, tucked away deep in your leg, where you can't see it, and you can't feel it. Until it's already on its way to your lungs, your heart, or your brain. Blood clots. They're one of the most silent and dangerous threats to seniors, and they don't care how healthy you think you are. They can happen to anyone. And the heartbreaking truth? By the time most people realize what's happening, it's already too late to stop it. I don't say that to scare you. I say it because you deserve to know the truth. Because this isn't just about comfort. It's about your freedom to keep living life on your own terms. If you ignore the daily habits that protect you from clots, it's not just your comfort at risk, it's your independence. And here's the good news. In the next few minutes, I'm going to share 5 daily habits that can protect you from dangerous blood clots, including one strange but simple tip that takes less than 60 seconds. By the time we're done, you'll know exactly how to spot the early warning signs, and how to fight them off before they have the chance to do any damage. Now, I want to make this personal. If you're watching this because you want to stay strong and clot-free for years to come, type "I'm here" in the comments right now. Let's make this a conversation, not just a video, because when we share and talk about these things, we help each other stay safe. And while you're here, hit that subscribe button for Elderly Wisdom Guide. This is where we share the practical, heart-centered health tips that keep you strong, steady, and confident at every stage of life. And listen, if you're serious about avoiding this kind of danger, I've put something special in the description for you. It's called the 29 Days to Reclaim Your Confidence Challenge. A simple, step-by-step plan that's already helping seniors build strength, improve circulation, and avoid these exact problems before it's too late. Because you and I both know, your health is too important to gamble with. Alright, let's dive in. Habit 1, move every hour, even for just 2 minutes. I remember speaking with Mary. She's a 74-year-old viewer who wrote to me after watching one of our earlier videos. Mary is one of those people you just can't help but admire. She's patient, creative, and she loves her knitting. She could sit in her favorite chair for hours, needles clicking away, making scarves, sweaters, and blankets for her grandchildren. But one day, she told me something strange happened. She noticed her right calf felt a little tight, almost like it was full. When she looked down, it seemed slightly swollen compared to the other leg. She brushed it off at first, thinking, well, maybe I just sat funny. But that night, the swelling hadn't gone down, and there was this dull, aching pressure that just wouldn't go away. When she finally went to the doctor, they ran a scan, and there it was, a deep vein clot. She was lucky they caught it before it moved somewhere more dangerous. Now here's the thing, Mary didn't have any major health problems. She wasn't bedridden. She thought her short walks in the morning and evening were enough. But here's the truth. When you stay still for long stretches, even if it's just doing something peaceful like reading, watching TV, or knitting, the blood in your legs slows down. And for seniors, that slow-moving blood is the perfect condition for clots to form. It's not about whether you walk once or twice a day. It's about what happens during the hours in between. If those hours are spent sitting still, your risk goes up, even if you think you're active. A lot of people get this wrong. They believe, well, I walked around the block today, so I'm good. But the danger isn't just about moving at some point during the day, it's about avoiding long, uninterrupted stretches of sitting still. That's the part that slowly puts you at risk without you realizing it. The good news? You don't have to overhaul your life. Just make it a habit to stand up and move every single hour. And I'm not talking about a workout or a marathon. Even just 2 minutes can make a difference. Stand, stretch, pace around the room, or flex your ankles while you're standing. That small burst of movement tells your body to get the blood flowing again. So, here's what I tell people: set a gentle reminder on your phone, your watch, or even your TV remote. Every 60 minutes, stop what you're doing and move for 2 minutes. Make it as automatic as brushing your teeth in the morning. Because Mary will tell you, the hobby you love is worth enjoying, but not at the cost of your health. And once you start doing this, you'll be surprised at how much lighter your legs feel by the end of the day. But movement alone isn't enough. Habit 2, hydrate, especially first thing in the morning. There's a gentleman I know named Robert. He's 78, sharp as a tack, and still drives himself to the local cafe every morning without fail. For years, Robert's routine was simple: wake up, put on the kettle, and pour himself a big, steaming mug of coffee. Sometimes 2 mugs. It wasn't until lunchtime that he'd finally drink a single glass of water. He thought nothing of it: coffee's a liquid, right? So that must count. But here's what he didn't realize: every single morning, his body was starting the day already in a state of dehydration. And dehydration isn't just about feeling thirsty. When your body is low on fluids, your blood becomes thicker. The fancy word is viscosity, and thick blood moves more slowly. Slower movement means a higher chance of it clumping together, and that's when dangerous clots can form. The risk is especially high for seniors because as we age, our natural sense of thirst isn't as sharp. That means by the time you feel thirsty, you may already be running low on the water your body needs to function properly. A lot of folks make the same mistake Robert did. They think, I have tea or coffee in the morning, so I'm covered. But coffee and some teas can actually act like mild diuretics, meaning they push water out of your system faster. So instead of helping, they can make you even more dehydrated. Now, I'm not saying you have to give up your morning coffee. Heaven knows I wouldn't want to take that comfort away from you. But what I am saying is this: before you sip that first drop of coffee, give your body what it's really craving: a full glass of water. Room temperature is fine, cold is fine, even warm if you prefer it. The point is to replenish your system after a full night's sleep, when you haven't had anything to drink for 6, 7, maybe even 8 hours. Think of it as giving your bloodstream a fresh start each morning, a little reset button that helps your heart pump easier and keeps that blood flowing smoothly. You'll be surprised at how much more awake and alert you feel, even before your caffeine kicks in. So, starting tomorrow morning, try this: put a glass of water right next to your coffee maker or your kettle. Make it the very first thing you reach for when you wake up. It's such a small change, but it can have a big impact on your circulation, your energy, and yes, your ability to keep clots at bay. Of course, staying hydrated is powerful, but sometimes, even when you're doing the right things, your body will send quiet warnings, little clues that something might be wrong. And if you know how to spot them early, they can save you a lot of pain, and maybe even your life. Habit 3, watch for subtle leg changes. I'll never forget an email I received from a viewer named Linda. She wrote, "I noticed my right ankle looked puffier than the left, but I figured it was just part of getting older." She didn't have any pain at first, no injury, no reason to worry, so she went on with her week as usual. But by the end of that week, the swelling had grown, her leg felt warmer to the touch, and there was a strange, dull ache that seemed to wrap around her calf. That's when she finally went to urgent care. Within hours, she was in the ER, diagnosed with a deep vein clot. Now here's the scary part: Linda had no idea that swelling in just one leg, especially when it comes on suddenly, is one of the most common early signs of a dangerous clot. We often think of clots as something dramatic. Chest pain, shortness of breath, a sudden collapse, but they usually start much quieter than that. Here's what's happening inside your body when this occurs. Clots often form in the deep veins of your legs. We call it deep vein thrombosis. When a clot blocks the normal flow of blood, fluid starts to build up behind it. That's why the leg can swell, feel warm, look a little reddish, or even take on a slightly bluish tint. The tricky part is, these symptoms don't always scream emergency. Sometimes it's just a subtle difference, one ankle puffier than the other, one calf feeling a little heavier than usual. And this is where so many people get it wrong. They assume swelling is just part of aging, maybe it's arthritis, maybe it's poor circulation, maybe they just sat too long that day. But here's the truth, ignoring these changes, even for a day or two, can be deadly. Because if that clot breaks loose and travels, it can reach your lungs, your heart, or your brain in minutes. That's why you can't afford to guess. If you notice sudden swelling, especially when it's on one side and not the other, don't wait it out, don't see how it feels tomorrow. Get it checked right away. It's far better to have a doctor tell you it's nothing, than to wish you'd gone sooner. Your legs are like the early warning system for your circulation. Pay attention to the little changes, because they're often the body's way of whispering, hey, something's not right here. But sometimes, the danger isn't just hiding in your legs. Sometimes, it's quietly building in your everyday routine, the way you sit, travel, or even relax at home. Habit 4. Keep blood flow active during long sitting periods. Let me tell you about George. George is a retired high school teacher. The kind who still gets recognized at the grocery store because his former students want to thank him years later. One of his favorite things in retirement was taking long road trips with his wife. They'd hop in the car early in the morning, pack some snacks, put on their favorite music, and just drive for hours. One summer, they decided to visit their daughter across the state. It was about a 6-hour drive. George, being the kind of man who liked to just get there, drove the whole way without stopping except for gas. When they arrived, he felt a little stiffness in his right leg, but brushed it off. By the next morning, his calf was swollen, warm, and aching. His daughter insisted he go to the hospital, and it's a good thing she did. He had a deep vein clot. The doctor told him, if this had traveled to your lungs, we might be having a very different conversation right now. Here's what happened to George, and what could happen to anyone who stays in one position for too long. When you sit for extended periods, whether it's behind the wheel, at the computer, or even on your couch, the bend at your knees compresses the veins in your legs. That compression slows your circulation. The longer the blood sits there without moving freely, the more chance it has to form a clot. A lot of people think, well, I'm active most days, so I'm fine. Or they believe that occasional stretching in the morning and evening is enough. But the truth is, your risk doesn't just come from how much you move, it comes from how long you stay still without moving at all. Even the fittest person can run into trouble if they spend hours without breaking that stillness. So here's the simple fix: if you're traveling by car, stop every hour, even if it's just for 5 minutes. Walk around the parking lot, stretch your legs, get the blood moving. If you're on a plane, stand up and walk the aisle when you can, or do seated ankle circles and foot flexes. And if you're at home, watching TV or reading, take a break every hour to stand, pace, or at the very least, flex and point your toes while you're sitting. It might feel like such a small thing, but for your circulation, it's huge. Think of it as giving your veins a little wake-up call every hour, reminding them to keep the blood moving before it has the chance to settle and clot. And finally, there's one overlooked factor that can silently stack the odds against you, something many people assume doesn't matter anymore once they reach a certain age, but it absolutely does. Habit 5. Support healthy circulation with the right foods. Ellen was in her 80s and had always been relatively healthy. She believed her active younger years had set her up for the rest of her life. When it came to diet, she didn't pay much attention anymore. She figured, at my age, a salad here or there won't change much. I've already lived my life, what difference will kale make now? But then her doctor reviewed her blood work. Her clotting markers were higher than they should be, and her cholesterol was edging upward. When he asked about her diet, Ellen admitted she ate very few leafy greens, maybe a small serving once every few weeks, and berries only if someone brought them over. He explained that certain foods aren't just nice extras for the young, they are essential tools for keeping blood vessels healthy at any age. In Ellen's case, the lack of those nutrients meant her blood vessels were losing flexibility, and her circulation was under more strain than it needed to be. You see, berries are rich in antioxidants that protect your blood vessels from oxidative damage. Leafy greens, spinach, kale, collards provide vitamin K, folate, and nitrates, which help blood flow more efficiently. And omega-3 rich fish like salmon or sardines. They make platelets less likely to clump together, lowering the risk of clot formation. Some people shrug this off, thinking, well, my body's too old to respond to dietary changes now. But research shows that your blood chemistry can start improving within weeks of adding these foods, even in your 70s, 80s, and beyond. Your cells don't check your birth certificate before they start repairing themselves. They just need the right building blocks. So here's your simple, actionable step: aim for at least one serving of leafy greens every single day, a cup of spinach in your eggs, a side of steamed broccoli with dinner, or even a small salad at lunch. And add one serving of berries daily, a handful of blueberries with yogurt, strawberries on your oatmeal, or raspberries as an afternoon snack. These two habits alone can help keep your blood vessels supple and your circulation running smoothly. And when you combine this with the other habits we've talked about, hydration, movement, and paying attention to subtle changes, you start stacking the odds in your favor. Because the truth is, all of these habits together can make the difference between a sudden, frightening hospital visit, and years of steady, independent living. These small habits may seem almost too simple. But they're exactly how you prevent the silent, creeping changes that lead to falls, slow recovery times, poor mobility, and dangerous hospital stays. Here's the scary part: most people don't act until something goes wrong. They wait until the fall, until the clot, until the hospital visit, before making a change. And by then, the road back is harder, longer, and more uncertain. That's exactly why I created the 29 Days to Reclaim Your Confidence for Seniors Health Challenge. In less than 10 minutes a day, you can build strength, balance, energy, and confidence, before the problems start. No heavy workouts, no extreme diets, just simple, proven steps designed specifically for seniors and older adults who want to take control of their health now. The link is in the description. Don't wait until a scare forces you to act. Start today, because every day you wait is a day you can't get back. I know these conversations can be heavy. Watching your body slow down, or seeing a loved one struggle with mobility, swelling, or fatigue, it's emotional, sometimes even frightening. It's easy to feel like these changes are just part of aging, something you can't do anything about. And that thought alone can make you want to ignore the signs until it's too late. But here's the good news: you are not powerless. You now have the daily tools to protect yourself from one of the most silent and dangerous threats to your health. Simple, consistent habits, movement, hydration, circulation checks, and smart food choices can transform how you feel and how you move, no matter your age. If you've noticed even one of these warning signs in yourself or in someone you love, don't wait. Do something today. Check in on them. Take a short walk, even if it's just to the end of the driveway. Pour that extra glass of water. Wiggle your toes while you watch TV. Every small action builds toward protecting your health and your independence. And remember, you don't have to do this alone. That's exactly why I created the 29 Days to Reclaim Your Confidence Challenge, so you can have small, daily wins that build strength, improve balance, and restore confidence in how you move and live. It's not about overhauling your life overnight. It's about proving to yourself, one day at a time, that you can take control of your health. So, let's quickly recap. Move every hour. Stay hydrated. Watch for subtle leg changes. Keep your blood flowing during long sitting periods. And support your circulation with the right foods every single day. Now I'd love to hear from you. Which of these habits do you already practice, and which one do you think will be the hardest to stick with? Share your answer in the comments. Your experience might be exactly what someone else needs to read today. And if you found this helpful, don't forget to subscribe to Elderly Wisdom Guide for more tips on protecting your health, your independence, and your quality of life. We talk about the real issues that matter, without the fluff, so you can age with strength, clarity, and confidence. But I need you to hear this last part clearly. Please, don't just click away and forget what you've heard today. Every week you wait is another week your body quietly loses a little more strength, a little more balance, a little more confidence. That's why I'm urging you, click the link in the description and join the 29 Days to Reclaim Your Confidence Challenge now. Because every step you take today is one less struggle you'll have tomorrow. Thank you for watching. Stay strong. Stay informed. And I'll see you in the next video.